Hey, what's going on, guys? Kalamazi here. This is going to be video 2 of 3 in the series about Warlock specs and everything heading into Midnight. I guess feedback, but more or less just feelings in the spec and what I want to see for the specialization today, Demonology, in Midnight. Let's just get into it, honestly. So, actually, shameless plug. Technically two things. Number one, pushing for 100k subs on the channel this year. If you guys aren't subbed, we consider doing so. It would mean the world to me. But if not, it's okay as well. I love y'all regardless. Number two, I haven't talked about it a whole lot, but I have a channel on Twitch that runs 24/7. I have two channels technically. It's called, I think, Kalamazi _247. Basically, it's playing old VODs from like Legion, BFA, Nilotha, all the way through like current retail stuff, like boss kills, rating, and all that. It's pretty fun, pretty cool. If you guys haven't followed it or checked it out, I'll put a link down below and stuff. It's cool. I hang out there a decent bit when I'm streaming and stuff. If you guys are looking for some like second monitor content or look at some old nostalgic kind of stuff, but yeah, I don't know. Feel free to check it out. But I think it's pretty cool. Okay, so regardless, I made a video on this already a few days ago for Affliction and the Clash Tree. I was going to just do one big video on the Clash Tree and all the specs, but it would have been 2 hours long. I don't want to do that. So getting into Demonology, right? This is going to be today's video. I'm not going to hit a whole lot on hero talents and things. They're expanding upon them in Midnight. They're giving you basically a fourth row of points here. So you're going to have 3, 6, 9, 12. I believe they're adding 3 more talents into the hero talent like tree for each. So you should be able to fill all 3 of these, or all 4 of the rows that are coming, as well as like your top and bottom talents. We'll see where that goes and probably just give more feedback on that based on what they end up cooking up. There's also an Apex talent, which is coming in Midnight. Now, I have not been able to find really any data on the, or I guess, picks from the Gamescom reveal of Midnight. I've dug a lot. Maybe it's out there. I don't know. I found this video from MMO Unlocked called Apex Talents Coming to WoW. Huge news. I'll put a link to their video down below. This is the only image I can find of the Apex Talents, which is, I'll even sub, which is right here. It looks like it's going to be a large node at the bottom of your tree and 3 small talents modifying it. I think you get this just passively, I believe. I'm not really sure. And you get 4 new talents in your actual specialization tree. You get 3 in the Clash tree, 3 in the hero talent tree behind this. Right here, basically here, to fill in this row, and you get 4 in your actual spec tree, which it looks like you go 1, 2, 3, and 4 to fill out your Apex talent. We'll see where that goes. Not really sure. Be sure to go sub to them, check them out as well. But I want to get to that. I got some unique ideas on how they could work that with Demonology. But before then, let's get into feedback. So when it comes to Demonology, some changes are made in patch 11.2, which changed the way Demonology sort of functions and flows in combat. It's still rotationally very similar to where it was in the past, but its damage profile has changed drastically over the last few patches. Looking back at Aberrus, Amir to still into basically War Within, and now you had Aberrus where Nether Portal was massive. You were playing Venthyr Boomkin level of damage, where you did tank damage, that you did damage through the roof, you did basically what the whole raid would do, then you came down to tank damage again. That is the polar opposite of what Demonology is now. Demonology's damage profile is very, very flat at this point in time. That is thanks to the removal of Reign of Tyranny, which was here, which was old demonic consumption from Shadowlands and such, and Tyrant hitting for much less, but empowering your pets and being a minute cooldown. We'll get more into that when we get down to this part of the tree, but just want to set the base of Demo's damage profile is very different from where it was back in the day. Now, just jumping down into the rows here, Implosion's a big one we should hit on. Implosion is an odd button. It used to be a DPS gain in 2 or more stacked targets. One of the answers to Demonology's lack of single target, though, that Blizzard has chosen to take has been buffing wild imp damage. It got nerfed, I think, in like right before the patch came out, but it got buffed a bunch over the course of this expansion and a bunch during 11.2 PTR as well, which has sort of pushed Implosion out of being a spell you hit in 2 target / 3 target AoE. I think the ratio now, I think it's a DPS, I think it's a net neutral at 3 or a really minor gain, and you start gaining more value at 4 targets being stacked to implode. But it's not massive, and you also just sort of, if you want prio damage, you don't implode. And even when I implode, I look down at my damage meter and it barely moves. Implosion needs serious buffs. Or we got to find some way to bring Implosion more in line with the raw damage we've given to wild imps. Because of all the buffs they've gotten to their passive damage, which they do whenever they're summoned, Implosion's just gotten forced out. Now, Demonology's profile is very AoE based, whether you're playing Shadow Invocation or Nillion. Just your spells AoE a bunch. Dogs AoE, Hand of Gul'dan AoEs. You're playing Doom at AoEs a bunch too. Your pets AoE, everything cleaves, Felguard cleaves. So you've got a lot of baseline built-in stat cleave, but Implosion's like one of the iconic specs for Demonology. You summon imps, you throw them, but it feels really awkward and honestly it's just sort of bad to hit right now. So I think Implosion needs to be looked at a good bit. Buffs, or maybe like somehow you can nerf imp damage and bring Demon's damage up to make it where Implosion's worth hitting again and it feels impactful. I don't know, but need to look at that. Heading down more here, I mean, honestly, most of these are sort of fine. It's been around for a long time. Dreadlash and Carnivorous work well together in AoE and things. I want to hit on Imp Gang Boss. I don't know what's going to happen, but Imp Gang Boss, to me, was one of the coolest talents I've ever played in this game as a Warlock. And I mean this in a passionate, please bring it back way. It was so cool. You'd summon imps through Hand of Gul'dan cast passively. Some would be Imp Gang bosses, which still happens now. They're bigger, they look beefier. And when you imploded them, whenever you imploded, it would throw all of your imps. And for the number of Imp Gang bosses, the bigger ones you imploded, it would give you back an imp. It would instantly resummon an imp. Now that imp you summoned again could also be an Imp Gang boss. And it would maybe at times sort of spiral into summoning multiple Imp Gang bosses back to back. RNG is RNG, but it wasn't like excessive RNG. And it was so cool. It felt like the one of the biggest talents ever of making Demonology what it was, which is a master summoner. You summon imps and pets and you just throw them and kill them at your will and you summon more. Then we got rid of it. And it became some I don't know what it even does. Implosion, when you implode Imp Gang bosses, they do more damage. You don't play this in AoE ever, anywhere. We almost played it in single target because we buffed imps so much, it just made Imp Gang bosses hit harder in single target. We don't play it though, it's close. I would love a world where we got old Imp Gang boss back. It might need to be something along the lines of like whenever you implode an Imp Gang boss, it'll give you an imp back, but it can't be an Imp Gang boss. Maybe you add some logic in there if that was the issue of being too good, but that was one of the coolest talents I've ever seen for Demonology. Might be a bit biased, but it was so sick, and it was just removed, and we never got a reason as to why. And it was so cool. I would love old Imp Gang boss back. That's going to be one of my... I don't know. That's my thing for this video. You can agree or not agree about that. So yeah. Moving on from there, I mean, the thing is, like, a lot of Demo's talents are as passive, and they just do damage. I mean, Soul Strike with Fell Invocation does damage. Dogs bite again. Dogs AoE. Demonic Strength and Bombers does damage. I think we should add a clause to Shadow Invocation where it affects Demonic Strength somehow. I don't know how necessarily, and it does work. Like, Invocation works whether you're playing Bombers or not, whether you're playing just Strength or Bombers, but it feels really weird having a talent like Demonic Strength lead directly into a talent that only buffs Bombers, even though they do work without, you know what I mean? Like, Bombers will still proc in AoE or in single target if you're playing Strength, but it just feels weird. It feels like something that would confuse newer players a bit. Strength itself at this point is undertuned. It's a net neutral to hit it in single target. It needs some buffs, unless things change, which I don't think they have. It's been back and forth of being worth it and barely worth it for a long time based on tuning of other abilities and stuff. We probably need to just buff Strength again or make it maybe a shorter cooldown. I don't really know, but yeah. Half a minute Demonic Strength, sure. Take that. We'll see. But something along those lines there. Sack Souls, Rune of Shadows, Imperator, Invocation, these are all just like passive abilities that just do damage, and they're fine. I don't really have much feedback on them because they all just do things. I think there might be a bit too many of these abilities in the tree where it's like, yeah, Shadow Bolt does more damage, Pets do more damage, Imps do more damage, Felguard does more damage, Felguard crits more often, Pets crit more often, Felguard does more damage, Pets do more damage, more mastery. There might be a few too many of these in the tree, but at the same time, Demonology still feels like Demonology. I don't really know what to say about these, but I wouldn't mind seeing some more flavor added in, but I don't know. What can you do? I don't have a great answer to that. Power Siphon's fine. I mean, it's fine. Grimoire Felguard likely needs buffs too. Its damage is very low, and there's been a lot of times where it's been speculated you don't even want to play Grimoire with like the 2-minute, 1-minute Tyrant Cycling and stuff just being so... its damage just being so subpar. I wouldn't mind seeing buffs to Grimoire. Honestly, making it a minute cooldown. You could probably make it a minute cooldown in its current form, and it would be fine damage-wise. So being a 2-minute cooldown and being the low amount of damage that it actually is, does feel awkward. If you made it a minute cooldown and you can sync with every tyrant, or maybe this talent here, which is never, ever, ever played anywhere, you could make, hey, this makes Grimoire a minute cooldown. Like Grimoire's 2, now it's 1 with this. That'd be cool. I think that'd actually work out pretty well. So every tyrant is a big tyrant having a Grimoire in it. That'd be pretty sick. Something along those lines. The Grimoire itself feels pretty bad. And honestly, putting 2 points into this and this for a minute tyrant might even be too much anyways, but this is a dead talent. It's never played. So yeah. We've given feedback on Ablation before, maybe saying when Grimoire, when you cast Grimoire, it gives you Demonic Core. Whenever it expires, whenever Grimoire ends, you're gaining 1,000,000 cores for other things too, because typically that's when Tyrant's ending. So you're gaining cores from your dogs that were extended expiring, you're gaining cores from imps that are expiring, and you're already overwhelmed with other cores from your current set of dogs that are out, and Siphon's coming off cooldown. I'd love Ablation just to be, hey, minute Grimoire. But this is a bit of an odd talent, needs to be looked at too. Same with like Sunder. It's fine, but it's not played in AoE, it's not played in a single target. And this is just, once again, another modifier talent. A modifier, and realistically another modifier. I don't know. Maybe this is like increases damage of Grimoire by 10 and makes it a minute cooldown. Instead of giving you a core. I think that'd be okay actually, and that'd be pretty cool. Adding both a damage clause and a cooldown reduction into it. Blood Invocation never really played anywhere either. So they're just whatever talent. Maybe it stays, maybe it goes. I don't know. It is what it is. Imp Mother is in a spot where we can get it now much easier. Thank God. Feels great. I'd still love Umbra Blaze to be a thing at AoE, but the fact that it's a guaranteed effect when you cast Hand of Gul'dan, you play it in single target, you don't really like feel Umbra Blaze. You see it in a damage breakdown, but it's like, all right, Umbra Blaze, whatever. It's there. It's one of those talents where if it's good, you play it. It's like most of the demo tree where it's good, you play it. It's like all these talents here and these. If it's worth it in Sims, you play it. Yeah, so there's that. Calling's fine too, just whatever. When it comes to Tyrant, we hit on it a bit at the start. I wish Tyrant did more damage. Now when you're playing Dablish, you have Abyssal Dominion, which increases Tyrant damage a good bit. You're playing Soul Harvester. Tyrant's like abysmal damage. It's like 2%, and being your major cooldown, mill your tree and doing 2% of your damage feels really bad. I know that it modifies all your pets. They buff the modifier from 15 to 25% to increase their damage while Tyrant's active, which is great. And I think people don't really put that into account or take it into account when they're looking at, oh, Tyrant isn't doing anything anymore. The Tyrant itself doesn't hit very hard anymore, which has changed the damage profile for sure, but it still does things. So unless you had like a damage meter to sort of like calculate and extrapolate out what the damage amp was to all the pets from Tyrant, yeah, it looks pretty bad. I do wish there were still a world where Reign of Tyranny was around, or at least a choice to play Reign of Tyranny. If you want to play like Master Summoner, you can have Master Increase and cast time reduction on dogs, Tyrant, whatever, sure. And the choice node maybe is like, hey, instead you play Reign of Tyranny. Now, realistically, you probably play Reign of Tyranny everywhere compared to Summoner. But I mean, if there's a world where you could find a choice of either playing, hey, my Tyrant does big damage, or my Tyrant does little damage plus my pets, I'd be down for that. Maybe it's a world of Master Summoner or Tyranny in this node, and you take the 10% amp you gave to the Tyrant. It's 25% damage increase now of affected demons. It used to be 15. You take that 10% and put it into Summoner. So Summoner says Mastery Increase, cast time reduction, and pets do 10% additional damage when Tyrant's active as one node here, or the other node in this choice node is Reign of Tyranny, Decon, whatever it was. I think that might actually be a pretty good choice, and that would make Tyrant feel a lot better. You can choose the damage profile, the identity you want. You play whatever's better in Sims, but I think that'd be really cool and a good compromise of, hey, if you don't want to play Reign of Tyranny, you ain't got to. If they're both pretty close in Sims, I'd assume a lot wouldn't. That's okay. I wish Tyrant itself did more damage. It might be a bit of just like a, I'm stuck in the past, or it's like remembering better times where you had decon and stuff, but it does attribute a lot to Demonology's damage profile being very flat. There has not been a tier in the past where Demonology's played 2 equip trinkets in its Sims as BIS at all. There are good equip trinkets this tier, but regardless, Araz's Ritual Forge is around. There are good unused trinkets. You're not playing them. They're fine, but double equip is better, and that goes to show how flat Demo's damage profile is, similar to Destruction. I hope we can address that, but I'll get to that in a minute here. That'd be a cool choice there as well. As far as everything else, I mean, if you like Doom, great. I mean, I think Doom was fun. I wish Doom Guards AoE'd Doom Bolts like the old tier set did. It'd be so much cooler. And honestly, it would fit into like this side of the tree is AoE based, and this side is more single target based. I mean, Hatred is a single target spell. This does buff pets, which sort of like extrapolate out a bit to, I guess, some AoE in a sense, but like having your Doom Guard AoE Doom Bolts, have it Doom Bolt Volley. It would fit the Doom as like an AoE part of the tree. Doom explodes, does damage. You can reduce, or you can summon imps when Doom does damage, cores, all that stuff. And if he spawns in, he AoE Shadow Bolts, or he does single target. Just take the 4-piece from Myrtosil and make it Pack the Arrow Druid. It used to be that way on PT or on Alpha, and it got changed just single target base. That'd be cool. It'd be awesome. Thematic, it'd be awesome. Similar to having like Imp Gang Boss back and having the damage amp thing I just talked about back, whatever it's called. Not Decon. Ray of Tyranny. That'd be cool. Yeah. As far as Vile Fiend's concerned, I like the 25-second cooldown change. Honestly, a good bit. People are saying it desyncs from Tyrant, which, I mean, if you look at it, if you look at a 5-second desync from Tyrant, I guess it does. It does. I do understand where they're coming from, where it does desync from Tyrant, but it gives you a lot more leeway to cast things on the move, or sorry, to say, okay, I have Vile Fiend on off cooldown. I have to hit it now, but I have a mechanic coming. I have to go. And then I missed casting my Vile Fiend. Now I got to hold it. If 5 seconds is bothering you that much, I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is, man. I think this is a lot better, but regardless, my opinion, I think it's fine. These are all whatever. You play Purple Dog and single target, fire and AoE. Once again, a lot of these talents here are just like, if it's good, you play it. There's a lot of just passive modifiers in the Demo tree. I mean, passive. I mean, essentially, Dog is essentially passive. It's the same cast every time. It's just single target or AoE. But if they're good, you play them. I don't want to say. Same with Calling. If it's good, you play it. I mean, you know, thematically, we could work more into this, but it is what it is. As far as Entoran and these go, I do feel like this side of the tree is sort of boring. I get that they want to have like maybe more of a single target, passive damage amp base part of the tree. That's fine. I don't even hate Hatred. I don't mind playing with it, but I feel like tactics and brutality, I think like there could be so much more impactful, exciting talents in like the capstone section of the tree, and there's just 2 modifiers here. There's so many modifiers in the tree, just in random things. I mean, modifier, essentially modifier, you know what I mean? And a lot of trees have that, to be fair, but like, I think if you're going down here and building into like, hey, my Felgar's beefed up, let him hit harder, or let him have some new ability. You know, give him a bigger axe. Let him dual wield axes. Let him give him another damage amp. It'd be a passive amp, and it'd be cool. I don't know, but you never get to see. You don't ever feel like tactics talent. You don't ever feel brutality, right? So that's that. I wouldn't mind seeing this expanded a bit more, but you know, that's basically it as far as talents are concerned. I do want to hit on Axe Toss, because Axe Toss needs to be changed. This is a very similar case to where it was back in Shadowlands. We were fighting for it when when we were on Sloot's stream, THC, myself, and Shelly. We had like a 6-hour debate on Demonology and Warlocks, and Axe Toss is a very big thing, where Axe Toss used to just be a stun. It wasn't a kick, it was just a stun. So you couldn't kick mobs at all, you could stun them. Axe Toss is, I mean, if a stun worked as a kick, sure, great, it would work. But now it is both a stun and a kick. However, we're in a similar spot where, honestly, it should just be a kick in general. The game has evolved in a sense where Axe Toss, even back in the day, it needs to be changed to be a kick that can lock a mob out. A kick that does not stun a mob, can lock a mob out. If a mob is casting at range, cast Axe Toss to have it be interrupted, and it will run into the pack. I can basically only interrupt and like silence like mini bosses that can be kicked but not stunned. So I'll kick it and it like run to me in a sense. It's clunky, it's odd, it's a half-minute cooldown, and when like someone calls for a kick on a range mob as Demo and Plus, I can kick it, but it's gonna stay there and cast again in a minute. It feels bad. It doesn't lock out, it doesn't like cause it to run to melee. Somehow finding a way to separate the stun from the kick, having both be really cool. I don't know how you do it. Honestly, you can just add a lockout to the kick, probably. It'd be fine. Axe Toss can stun and or interrupt and lock out a mob. Sure, there you go. But having the weird, like, it works half the time kind of kick just feels bad. And it's that people have begun to pick up on, hey, Demonology can't kick for the last expansion or so. I hear it from Dorky and Growler all the time. Well, Demonology can't kick. I mean, been the way for a while, but now it's actually being more and more, it's being witnessed more and more, and it feels worse and worse. Please make it a lockout and just change Axe Toss in general. So the last thing I want to hit on is the Apex talent. We didn't hit on it a lot in the AF video. We hit on it and said that it could be like an Oblivion-esque talent, where they can expand upon Oblivion and make it like extend dots, make dots tick more often or occur more often, like a channeling Oblivion, have it generate shards, all that. For Demonology, I've got a good idea, and I think so. And they even hit on this in Amir Jasil whenever they removed Nether Portal. Now hear me out. This is not Nether Portal of old, but I think I think what might even be likely is they make the Apex talent, which we showed at the start of this section, Nether Portal, but it's a different like design of portal. It can be a minute cooldown, 2, 3, probably like a 2-minute cooldown, where you're not like spending shards. Each time you spend shards, you summon a demon. There's weird like one shard sequencing. It's just like, hey, every 2 minutes, you open this portal to hell, the Twisting Nether, whatever it is, and you summon demons, right? So like that could be like your actual Apex talent, and there's nodes to build upon it, right? I think it's like 1 talent point, then 2, and then 1, so you spend 4 total. The first one you earn can be like, hey, you summon Jaraxxus. Your first shark consuming spell within the portal summons Jaraxxus. Everyone's wanted that, and it only worked in non-raid based encounters. Summon Jaraxxus. That'd be sick. Why not? We summon Pit Lords and Mothers of Chaos and Overlords now. Let's do it. That'd be so cool. And he does big damage. He comes in. Maybe he even applies like some damage taken increase to your other pets, similar to what like this guy does in a sense, the Overlord. That'd be cool. Jaraxxus comes in. You could make like the 2-point node, like, I don't know, maybe it increases like the damage of your pets by like 5% and 10% respectively when portals open, which it's a bit odd. I mean, it's a bit like boring, but for adding a 2-point node, it's some kind of modifier in a sense. So that'd be like, you know, that'd be like the 1 and the 2, and the last one could be like, I don't know, something cool, something sick. Like you summon a core hound or some shit. Summon a big demon from hell, you know, that'd be cool. But like Nether Portal, fundamentally itself was a really, really cool spell. Maybe that talent point doubles the damage of your tyrant when it's active. So if Tyrant's a minute and Portal's 2 minutes, every other Tyrant can be a very big one, which would change the damage profile as well, whether it's Portal itself and or Tyrant upon it. It would give you back that cooldowns matter kind of profile again. I mean, the baseline talent itself is Portal. You just open it and demons probably just passively pour out of it. Old demons like the eyeballs and the flying bats and stuff. That was really cool. You can bring those back, but don't bring back like the weird whenever you spend shard logic of that, which leads to like 1 shard hands and everything else. Just make it like good on its own. You don't need Tyrant to extend those demons. Just make it a straight, hey, the portal opens, demons are pouring out passively, like a legion of demons are coming out of it passively. And then you have Lord Jaraxxus in the 1-point node, the 2-point node modifies things. And the last node's whatever. You can even make the last node, hey, you can control 2 pets. That'd be cool. Give us BM stuff. Maybe the Apex talents, you can have 2 pets in the first place and the modifiers below it give you bigger, beefier pets. That'd be cool. But Demonology thematically has so many cool options that you can do to the Apex talent and just the tree itself. The sky's the limit. And honestly, I'm down to see what they cook up. But that's it for Demonology for me. If I missed anything, throw it down below in the comment section. No outro in this video because I'm hungry. Get some food. But thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, like and sub below. Helps out a ton. And yeah, I'll catch y'all again soon. Peace.